Hey everyone, it's Star Charger here, coming to y'all with the third episode of the Declassified CIA documents about astral travel, hemisync, out-of-body experiences, remote viewing, and all the other things related to it in these declassified CIA documents, which prove that these are not just spiritual or occult things, but actually scientifically verifiable and repeatable phenomenon, and that there's at least one section or maybe more of government entities that are trained in these methods for whatever use that they use it for, spying or seeing the future or whatever it may be, which I find fascinating. And these documents were made in like the 70s and 80s, even though they weren't released until very recently. So just imagine the sophistication and advancement of their methodologies today and the things that they're capable of today. Okay, having said that, this is the third video. If you haven't got to watch the first two, you might want to go back and watch them, because I'm reading the entire document and giving my commentary, and some of the language in the document is very formal and might be hard to understand. So when I read through stuff, I give a short summary to kind of break it down for people that aren't too familiar with these type of things, to help them understand it better. And I'm also going to put some visuals in and maybe put certain passages from the paperwork in the video, just to maybe help you understand it better. All right, so let's dive right in. We're at number 4 on the CIA RDP 96 documents about the gateway experience, astral travel, out-of-body, and remote viewing. Number 4, biofeedback. The third consciousness-altering methodology, which will be briefly described as biofeedback. Biofeedback is somewhat unique in that it actually employs the self-cognitive powers of the left hemisphere to gain access to such areas of the right brain as the lower cerebral, motor, and sensory cortices and assorted pain or pleasure centers. Instead of suppressing the left hemisphere, as is done in hypnosis, or largely bypassing and ignoring it, as is done in transcendental meditation, biofeedback teaches the left hemisphere first to visualize the desired result, and then to recognize the feelings associated with the experience of successful right hemisphere access to the specific lower cerebral cortex, pain or pleasure, or other areas in the manner needed to produce the desired result. Special self-monitoring devices such as the digital thermometer are used to inform the left brain when it succeeds in keying the right hemisphere into accessing the appropriate area. Once this is done, the left brain can then repeatedly instruct the right brain to reestablish the pathways involved so as to produce the same external, objective measures of success. In this way, the pathways are strengthened and emphasized to such an extent that the left brain consciousness is enabled to access the appropriate areas in the right brain using a conscious demand mode. For example, if the subject wishes to increase the circulation in the left leg in order to speed up healing, he may concentrate with his left brain on achieving that result while carefully monitoring a digital thermometer connected to the left leg. When the concentrated effort begins to achieve success, the digital thermometer will register an increase in the temperature of the left leg. At that point, the subject can mentally, with the left brain, associate the sensations experienced with the result achieved and can begin to emphasize by memory recall the same process to cause its strengthening by affirmation and repetition. In this way, pain can be blocked, healing can be enhanced, malignant tumors can apparently be suppressed and ultimately destroyed, the body's pleasure centers can be stimulated, and a variety of specific psychological results may be achieved. In addition, biofeedback may be used to greatly accelerate achievement of deep meditative states, particularly for beginners who have no experience in meditative techniques and whose progress in that methodology is enhanced through effective visualization and external objective affirmation. Display of the subject's brainwave pattern on a cathode ray tube has proven to be a laboratory-validated means by which subjects may quickly learn to place themselves in profoundly relaxed states, characterized by the sort of quietude and singularity of mental focus associated with advanced meditation. So on that one, he's saying that by using certain measures such as brain scans, heart scans, digital thermometers, you can use biofeedback to consciously create certain outcomes in your body and in your brain, which can enhance meditation because you can consciously concentrate using the left brain on a certain thing, like increasing circulation to part of your body, killing a cancer tumor, speeding up healing of an area, and then you can watch the monitor showing your brainwave, your heart rate, your temperature, your heart rate variableness are different measurable factors to prove when you've achieved that state or that outcome, and then you can mentally register, okay, this is how I feel, this is what I was thinking about, this is what I was doing when I made that happen. And through repetitive practice, you can make it second nature. You can train yourself consciously to achieve certain things. And this can also be an aid in helping to achieve deeper meditative states if you are not used to meditating. So it's great how he's showing that you can do years of meditation and train yourself how to be in these deep meditative states and achieve these things, but also through the use of technology like certain sound frequencies, certain audio resonance techniques, and then through biofeedback with these different devices, you can train yourself more quickly or bypass a certain amount of time that you'd have to take and quickly get into these states, which is pretty fascinating. All right, so number 5, now we're getting to the description of the gateway and hemisync. Gateway and hemisync. Now that we have briefly profiled the basic mechanics of the principal techniques for altering or expanding consciousness, which share some of the objectives and or methods employed in the gateway experience, we may proceed to focus on what the technique actually involves. Fundamentally, the gateway experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brain wave output between the left and right hemispheres so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. The participant then gains access to the various levels of intuitive knowledge which the universe offers. What differentiates the gateway experience from forms of meditation is its use of the hemisync technique, which is defined in a monograph by Monroe Institute trainer Melissa Jaeger as a state of consciousness defined when the EEG patterns of both hemispheres are simultaneously equal in amplitude and frequency. Although hemisync seems to be rather rare and of only short duration in ordinary human consciousness, Melissa Yeager states that audio techniques developed by Bob Monroe can induce and sustain hemisync with the Institute's basic Focus 3 tapes. She also notes that studies conducted by Elmer and Elise Green at the Menninger Foundation have shown that a subject with 20 years of training in Zen meditation could consistently establish hemisync at will, sustaining it for over 15 minutes. Dr. Stuart Twillow, a psychiatrist and a research associate of the Monroe Institute, reports that in our studies of the effects of the Monroe tape system on brainwaves, we have found that the tapes encourage the focusing of brain energy. It can be measured as with a light bulb in watts, into a narrower and narrower frequency band. This focusing of energy is not unlike the yoga concept of one-pointedness, which we may translate in Western terms as a single-mindedness. Dr. Twinlow goes on to observe that as the individual gets into the tapes beyond Focus 3, there is a gradual increase in brainwave size, which is a measure of brain energy or power. Number 6, lamp versus laser. And this is so cool to me, y'all, because the things he's talking about are also similar to the things that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. So I encourage y'all, if you can't afford the very expensive and pricey Monroe Institute HemiSync Gateway Experience programs, to start with Dr. Joe Dispenza. Now, back to this document. Number 6, lamp versus laser. Melissa Yeager uses a metaphor to help clarify the process involved in the use of hemisync in the Gateway experience. She points out that the human mind in its natural state may be likened to an ordinary lamp, which expends energy in the form of both heat and light, but in a chaotic, incoherent way, which diffuses its energy over a wide area of rather limited depth. On the other hand, the human mind, under the discipline of hemisync, acts after the fashion of a laser beam, which produces a disciplined stream of light. The stream of energy is projected with total coherence of both frequency and amplitude, such that the surface area of the laser beam contains billions of times the concentrated energy found in a similar surface area on the sun. Did y'all hear that? Your brain, when disciplined, can produce a stream of coherence and a stream of light, coherent of both frequency and amplitude, that it contains billions of times the concentrated energy. Gateway assumes that once the frequency and amplitude of the human brain are rendered coherent, it is possible to begin accelerating both, so that the human mind is soon resonating at ever higher vibrational levels. The mind can then bring itself into synchronization with more sophisticated and rarefied energy levels in the universe. The mind, when operating at these increasingly rarefied levels, is assumed to be capable of processing the information thus received through the same fundamental matrix by which it makes sense of ordinary physical sensory input to achieve meaning in a cognitive context. Such meaning is usually perceived visually in the form of symbols, but may also be perceived as astonishing flashes of holistic information, holistic intuition, or even in the form of scenarios involving both visual and oral perception. Oral as in hearing. The mechanics by which the mind exercises the consciousness function will be addressed in more detail later in this paper. Now it's saying that very experienced meditators who have been meditating 20 years or more can reach these states at will. But even if you're not a very experienced meditator, with the Monroe methods and their different technology, you can achieve the states much quicker and hold them for the same amount of time or longer. And when you achieve these states of coherence, it's saying that normal human consciousness is like a lamp, a light bulb, very incoherent, energy scattered everywhere. With these techniques, you make your consciousness like a laser, very strong, a lot of energy focused in one point. Then, once you've achieved this state, you can access higher levels of consciousness where you can find the answers to things, or you can find information that was not available to you in your incoherent state. And you can either get intuitions, you can maybe see an image or a symbol in your mind that has a meaning. You can have a vision, like a prophetic vision, where you receive the information, where you hear or hear and see things that give you a message or that download information. I've had experience with this where I was meditating and I had a sudden intuition about something, or where a visual picture suddenly popped into my mind, or an answer to a question that I had. Maybe I wasn't even focused on that question. I was just focused on meditating, and then the answer to a problem I was having just came into my mind. So I can testify anecdotally that is true and correct. So alright, y'all, we're getting kind of long on this video, so I'm gonna stop this video and I'm gonna restart with the next video, and we're gonna start at number 7, frequency following response. Please, if you have any questions, if you want me to elaborate on certain parts, if there's something that you don't understand, or if you want to add your experiences and your knowledge or things you've tried, if you've tried this gateway method, if you have anything that you'd want to add or contribute, please do so in the comments below. I'll read every comment. I'll try to reply to every comment. I am so happy that I get to be a conduit of this information. I'm delighted to bring it to y'all. I hope that y'all can receive it. Please like and share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please comment down below. Give me your feedback. I appreciate y'all so much. Much love to all my mystical, magical, wonderful, cosmic, multidimensional unicorns. And until the next time we meet, here is to your empowerment, your evolution, your enlightenment, and the expansion of your consciousness. Alright, y'all. Star Charger out.